Hey, fellow babies, welcome to Pachter Factor Live, or maybe not. We're going to have to do more than one of these because I'm going to be at GDC next week, so not going to be able to do any recordings next week. So I'm going to kind of jam out a couple of episodes today. You see me in the same outfit with the same goofy hair. Apologies, it's been windy. Anyway, if you are watching this real time or within a week of my taping it, so because again, I'll be at GDC. That's because you're a Patreon patron, we appreciate it, or you're a YouTube subscriber, we appreciate that as well, or you have linked your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. Now that's something that you don't have to be a subscriber to do. If you are a subscriber, please do it anyway, but everybody who's got Amazon Prime, it's free. Amazon pays for it. Just look down in the instructions, for the instructions in the show description below, and you'll see how to do it. You have to re-up that every month. Amazon pays, you pay nothing. I should say you pay $139 a year, but that's for Amazon, and they pay us. So make sure that you remember to link that. We appreciate it. Okay, so we've got Xbox handheld coming out, and what is it and why are they doing it? They're not building it. It's going to very likely be a third-party Asus, Lenovo, something like that. And came from Jez Corden, who is never wrong. What do you think of the Xbox handheld? I think Microsoft is all in on Game Pass. They're de-emphasizing the Xbox itself. You're seeing it getting discounted, and I'll talk about that in another episode. But the point, I think, for Microsoft is we want to make Xbox Game Pass as widely available as possible. Ultimately, I think you won't even need a handheld. You can play it on your phone, but the phone's going to have connectivity problems, latency problems, bandwidth problems. You can kind of build out some of that by having a handheld and have a little less latency. It just depends on connectivity to servers. But ultimately, I think they want to be on every television screen, every PC screen, every phone screen. And so a handheld is just going to make it an affordable way to play. I actually expect that you'll be able to use the handheld as a controller and play on your TV as well. So think like the Switch, and that's not something that's patentable. So Microsoft's going to be able to do that as well. Is it going to be a big success? If it's $100, yes. If it's $500, probably not. Let's see how they position this thing. Using a third party to make it almost guarantees it will not be particularly expensive. Asus and Lenovo are both pretty good at making inexpensive devices. Lenovo makes laptops that are probably under $500, $600, so they could certainly make a handheld for under $2. And I don't expect that Microsoft's going to try to make money on this. This is more about getting Game Pass out in as many hands as possible. And the idea behind it, I think, is no one's going to play exclusively on their handheld, but you can play a game when you're on the train or when you're sitting at your desk at work and you're not allowed to load software onto your desktop at work. And certainly you can play on the couch on weekends when your spouse is watching Real Housewives, which is what my spouse watches. So I think it makes sense. Is it going to be a big deal? I don't think so. I mean, I continue to believe that Game Pass has an addressable market of 200 or 300 million subscribers, and I think they get to that number. And I'm basing that on what we've seen as the success of Netflix, and we've seen this as success of Disney Plus, and we've seen this as success of HBO. And what those three different services have in common is they offer a lot of content. Spotify, same kind of thing. You get into the hundreds of millions of subscribers when you offer enough content to justify the subscription price. Microsoft's not there yet. I think ultimately they'll turn Game Pass into a platform, so they'll offer third-party games without charging anything for the company providing the game. Let them keep all of it. And so if you tell EA, you can put Apex Legends on Game Pass and we'll charge you $0. You can have all the revenue instead of paying 30% to Xbox. It'll be on there the next day. They can certainly move it down to 20% and get it on Game Pass the next day. So, the secret to their success is get enough content to get a lot of subscribers, to be able to afford even more content. This is a joke intended, but it's the chicken and the egg, right? And we're at a time with high egg prices because a lot of birds are dying from the avian flu. Which came first? You need more chickens to lay more eggs, and you need more eggs to hatch more chickens. So this is Microsoft's problem, that they need more content. I don't know that they're going to be in a position to buy a lot more content. They certainly can't develop a whole lot more content than they're currently developing, but they can absolutely open up the platform to third-party content without charging anything. And so think GTA Online on the platform. You don't need to play GTA for free on the platform, but you can play GTA Online on Game Pass all you want. And I honestly think that that's the way they're going to grow. So the handheld is just a way to get the service, Game Pass service, into more homes, into more hands, pun intended, but the handheld means that you can take it with you. You can be playing a session on Game Pass on your TV or your PC or Xbox, and then pick it up where you left off when you get on the bus to go to work or the train. So again, I think it's a real smart solution. Jez Corden, Shane said, super reliable. I can't remember the guy ever being wrong. So look, Jess says that the handheld's coming this year, could be. It's possible it's going to be expensive, in which case it'll flop. It's possible it'll be inexpensive, in which case it'll work really well. I think Microsoft's ultimate goal is just to get Game Pass in people's hands, make more people play Game Pass, make it more accessible. So I think that Microsoft understands that the hardware that you play on is just a mechanism to get you to play Game Pass. They are all in on Game Pass. That's what they want you to spend the money on. They want, $20 a month in perpetuity, and it's not worth it for $20 a month. It is worth it for 10. And, so the question is just how are they going to price it? The Xbox version is $20. The PC version is 10. So again, I'm not sure how they're going to price the handheld version, but I think it's not going to be considered an Xbox version. So can they charge you $600 for the handheld and charge you $10 for Game Pass? Maybe that works. I don't know. I'm not an expert in pricing. I'm an expert in understanding that consumers don't have that much money, and they certainly don't want to spend on an Xbox handheld if they can only play 5 games or 10 games. This can't become the Vita. The PlayStation Vita. So we'll see. I don't know really exactly what they're going to do. Is there an Xbox coming? Sure. Is it going to be just kind of a dumb device that you can hook up to a old TV that's not a smart TV and play Game Pass? Yes. I expect the next Xbox is going to be a streamed down version of the Xbox that is going to be essentially like a Roku device to get Netflix. I use my Roku device I have a couple of TVs in the house that aren't smart TVs that are 2005, and we have Roku devices on them. They work fine. That's what I think the next Xbox is going to be. We'll see. I've been wrong. I'm still waiting for the Wii 2, so I could be wrong about the next Xbox as well. In any case, Jez is pretty reliable, so let's just go with, if he said it, it's happening. And I'll be pleasantly surprised when the Xbox handheld is $100, and I'll be very pleasantly surprised when the next Xbox is $100. Odds are neither is going to happen, but it'll be fun to see if they charge something that's affordable. So again, I don't know that I'm buying one. I'm not sure that I actually care because I can play Game Pass through my Xbox on my television. Okay, fellow babies, thank you for joining us on Pachter Factor Live. If you're a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber, we really appreciate the support. That's helping Shane a lot. If you are doing that or not, please remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That's free for you. You've already paid Amazon for that. You're sticking it to them. They will pay, but you've got to re-up that every month. So if you haven't done it in a few weeks, please check the instructions in the show description below. It's a couple of clicks. You can link the accounts pretty quickly. If you do that, we get paid as well, so Shane can keep producing these shows. And I'm getting none of it, but I appreciate the support. If you are not doing none of those things, find me on Blue Sky. That's my new hangout at Michael Pachter. I've got under 1,000 followers. I'm hopeful I can crack 1,000 one of these days. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week.